Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're all having a good day so far. My name is Ben, and I am on a journey towards Mario Kart World. I'm playing every single track in all of the Mario Kart games. Today, it is the turn of the current penultimate game in the series, Mario Kart 7. Now I feel a little bit bad for Mario Kart 7. When people think of the 3DS and Wii U era, and when they think of Mario Kart from that era, they tend to think of Mario Kart 8. Now, a big part of the reason for that is that Mario Kart 8 really gained a following on the Nintendo Switch, which came after the Wii U. But even at the time, 8, I feel like was the game that got talked about more, even if more people were probably playing 7, just simply because the 3DS had a bigger install base. Yet 8 just appeared to be the more impressive game. However, for me, 7 was the game from that period that I played more. Now, don't get me wrong, I played a lot of 8. I loved 8. I did all of the cups on all of the CCs on the Wii U version, including the DLC. But when I was just casually playing Mario Kart, it tended to be 7 more. And that's because when I was growing up, not to get too into the nitty-gritty of my childhood life and drama, I grew up with separated parents, so I was constantly travelling between two houses. I had school that I was commuting to. Towards the end of that period, I had a job that I was commuting to, and I couldn't exactly drag a Wii U around with me all the time. But a 3DS, though, that was nice and easy. But despite all of those years of playing Mario Kart 7, I don't really remember much about it. I feel like it and 8 are so similar, and 8 is just better, that a lot of my memories of 7 have kind of just been absorbed by 8. However, since I've been playing it recently to unlock all of the tracks on this ROM that I've got here, I've found myself really pleasantly surprised by some of them. There's some really, really nice tracks in this game, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into them. So yeah, that is the disclaimer there. I am once again emulating, as I kind of have to with these handheld Mario Karts in order to actually get the footage. Surprisingly, my test recording ran better than Mario Kart DS did, despite the 3DS being the more powerful console, and that's probably just to do with however the emulators and stuff are set up. You know, it's not quite as simple as more powerful console, harder to emulate. Yeah, it didn't run too badly there. There were a few hiccups, and I've since toned down my settings a little bit to hopefully make it run a little bit better. If there are any issues, though, they're kind of unavoidable. It's either had these issues or just not be able to record Mario Kart 7. And I don't want to skip a game in the series, because at that point, then, why even bother doing the series? Kind of just defeats the whole point. Anyway, that's enough for my beginning of the video ramble. Let's actually jump into things. I also do have the bottom screen turned off on OBS. You guys won't be able to see that. That is for performance reasons. If I'm trying to render the game twice on OBS, it definitely will have issues. Plus, I just couldn't get it to work for some reason. I couldn't get Game Capture to pick up the emulator twice. Don't know why that was, but since I'm not showing it anyway, it's not that big of a deal. Right, I'm going to be playing on 150cc because, as you can see, that's literally all I've been doing on practice. Mario Kart 7 is just a very nicely controlling game. I don't think I'll have too many issues playing at 150cc, and if I do, you know, I've lost plenty of cups already. I just kind of take the wins with the losses. We take it in our stride here. I'm not too concerned about winning on every track, you know, I just want to play every track. So, Mario Kart 7 has a particularly divisive roster. This character in particular is one that gets brought up a lot. I don't feel like I can play Mario Kart 7 without playing as the Honey Queen. At least for one of these videos. She's got to be in the Bumblebee. We're going to give her wooden tyres, and I've only got the one glider on this file. We will be starting with the Mushroom Cup, because that's where every single Mario Kart begins. And of course, we are starting here with Toad Circuit. Our first track of the game. That's why we're starting here. It is the very standard beginning track that every single Mario Kart has. There's really going to be no surprises there. If you've played Mario Kart 8, chances are you're very familiar with this one because it is also in that game. Spoiler alert. I do like the music here, though. While it's a basic track, the music is a pretty nice track. Well, while the track is in the road is simple, the track is in the music is pretty nice. That does make things a little bit more confusing to talk about, doesn't it? Wow, Peach seems to be really getting a lead on me here. Clearly, she is the better royalty. Now, one thing Mario Kart 7 does that I'm not the biggest fan of is bringing back coins. I've kind of learnt to live with them. But I don't know, I just kind of don't like them being here. I know they give you things to aim for while you're driving, but a lot of the time I feel like it just forces you to take the same routes so that you can get coins. And I don't really like that. Especially because if you don't collect them, you do go slower. That is just kind of how they work. Okay, that was really bad. There were a lot of bananas there. I might have a hard time catching up. Thankfully, there isn't a coin that you can get from the item boxes, like in Mario Kart 8. Holy hell. That would really be a travesty. That is one of the worst decisions they've honestly ever made. Okay, it's going to be really hard to pull this back now. Right, I do like this glider ramp that pops up here on later laps. Okay, didn't quite get Metal Mario, but I might be able to take this anyway. Nicely done. Yeah, so as far as opening tracks go, Toad Circuit it's fairly unremarkable. You know, it's got an off-road mushroom ramp shortcut, but so does basically every other starting track in the series. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. The layout is fairly simple. I do like the glider ramp that pops up, just to kind of give you an early taste of what the glider is like, but all Mario Kart opening tracks give you a taste of their main mechanic, so it doesn't really gain points for that. All in all, I would say the track should just about maybe be scraping an average, maybe being a meh. But it has the big, goofy Toad balloons all over the place. You can get annoyed at my reasoning for this if you want, but because of those balloons, I'm giving the track a like. They are enough. They make me smile every time. And I think if a track makes me smile, no matter how dull and simple it is, that means I like it. Anyway, moving on to our second track. A much better one, Daisy Hills. So what's kind of interesting about Mario Kart 7 is that because it introduces two brand new mechanics, we essentially have 3 tutorial tracks. We have the very standard driving one in Toad Circuit. Daisy Circuit is our glider one, and then we'll have an underwater one coming up next. However, of the 3, I feel like Daisy Circuit is the one that stands out the most. It just has a really nice aesthetic and some really nice music. Okay, that was took that a little too sharply there. Also, this glider section is really nice. There's just stuff to do, stuff to avoid. It makes the glider section not brain dead. Now, obviously, Mario Kart 8 has the glider as well, but I feel like 7 is better at utilizing it. A lot of the glider sections in Mario Kart 8 Nitro tracks do just kind of feel... There are standout ones that we will get to when we get to Mario Kart 8, but a lot of them feel like they're just a straight line. You're just gliding because you're gliding. There's not really stuff to do. Whereas a lot of the tracks in 7 actually do more with it, I feel. I know Mario Kart World is technically getting rid of the glider. The karts have wings now, it's basically the same thing. But I do hope that they do more with it. The opening world, the open world does look very, very promising with how it's going to use it, being able to just glide over everything, basically. That looks like it will be pretty fun to do. Yeah, get out of here, Peach. I do really like these goats as well. They're cute. I'd like to see them come back. GOAT for Mario Kart World. I'd like him to be a racer. There is a shortcut over there that I would have liked to have shown off, but unfortunately I didn't get a mushroom. Honestly, a lot of these Mario Kart 7 tracks have pretty cool shortcuts. Unfortunately, I'm just too good at the game. I don't get the mushrooms that I need. Yeah, I think I love Daisy Circuit. It has a really unique aesthetic. It's fun to drive around, has a fun glider section. I love the goats. I love the music. Doesn't quite get up to Adore. There are tracks that I just like a lot more. But it's definitely one of the better tracks in the series. And as far as tutorial tracks go, it stands out really, really well. Okay. Oh, my controller's just disconnected. That's probably going to be happening a lot. On to the third track of the cup. Our third tutorial track, Cheep Cheep Cape. Not Cheep Cheep Lagoon. This is not a lagoon. It is clearly a cape. Okay. Opening thoughts. The plants here do look nice. Reminds me of Cheep Cheep Beach. It basically is a sequel to Cheep Cheep Beach, and I adore that track, so you'd think I would like this one, right? Well, it's not bad, I suppose. I do like the clams, that they sometimes have item boxes in them. Okay, this bit is really cool. It's a bit of a harder path to drive, but you get a reward for it. I do like when tracks do that, risk versus reward. Get the speed boost. Wow, Koopa got really far ahead there. Oh, I've gone into the water early. Even though it doesn't, you know, wipe me out, it's not technically a penalty, it does actually slow me down because I missed the booster, so the water can still be a penalty. Oh, I'm going for these 2 coins. Nice. Okay, I think I'm going to go for the glider again. It's been a long time since I've not taken this route. I think maybe the first 2 times I ever played this track, I didn't take it. And then every other time, I'm like, I might as well go for it. There's no reason not to. Okay, final lap time. I did not mean to drop my banana. That has been happening a lot while I've been practicing. It didn't happen while I was playing Mario Kart DS, so it's not my controller that's the problem. It just, I don't know, Mario Kart 7 just doesn't seem to like it. Anyway, Cheep Cheep Cape, when I first played it, when I first got the game, I was really into it because it was cool. It was like, oh my god, it's an underwater track. You've got the clams, the fish swimming around, and it is pretty. But there are a lot of underwater tracks in this game. There are a lot of them in Mario Kart 8. It just feels like it doesn't stand out anymore. It's the basic water track. It's just kind of average, I think. It's not bad. I don't dislike it, but I'm not going to rave about it. Anyway, on to the final track of the cup. Welcome to Shy Guy Bazaar. And I am so happy that this one is coming back. This is one of my favorites from this game. Desert tracks in Mario Kart tend to be very samey and very boring. But this desert track, sometimes I forget it's a desert track. Some might say that's a bad thing, but it's not. Like, I really love the whole, like, Arabian aesthetic they've gone for here. I think it fits Shy Guy as a character quite well, as well. Because if you go back to Doki Doki Panic, some of the character designs for the main characters for that, before they got replaced with Mario characters, they look like they'd come from somewhere like this. They've got, like, there's the one guy with a turban. I hope I'm not being, like, really, like, playing into stereotypes here, but I'm sure you know what I mean. It's just a nice aesthetic that I think fits Shy Guy's history, is what I'm trying to say. I love the starry night sky as well. It's really pretty. Ah, damn it. Oh, I'm really not doing well on this one. I love the pots as well with like the little snake guys in them. They really do remind me of Super Mario Bros. 2, which is a game I have a soft spot for. That was technically my first Mario game. I didn't really get far into it because I sucked at it. But I still like it a lot. Yes, I forgot that change came in this game and not Mario Kart 8. Blue shells now work like they did on the N64. They can hit even the people not in first. Ain't that fun? Okay, I was hoping that bomb wouldn't backfire. Thankfully it didn't. God, this part of the track is brutal. I think on all 3 laps, this is where I've just got absolutely hammered. Oh, jeez. Okay, everyone knows the Lucky 7, you just use the star. That's the main reason to get it. Right, I just need to maintain this lead. A mushroom will do nicely, thank you. Okay, I adore Shy Guy Bazaar. Great aesthetic, great music, fun to drive around, it's really unique. Glad it's coming back. Hopefully I still adore it in Mario Kart World. Something tells me that I probably will. The track looks pretty much one-to-one. I know people have seen players driving on it in the daytime, but that's probably more to do with the day-night system of Mario Kart World. I assume you can still drive it at night like you're properly meant to. But we're not talking about Mario Kart World today, even though that's the whole point of this series. We're talking about Mario Kart 7, and in Mario Kart 7 at least, I adore this track. So, all in all, a pretty solid start to Mario Kart 7. It's not quite Mario Kart Wii levels with 2 absolutely amazing tracks at the end of the first cup. But there's a track that, for a tutorial track, really stands out. 2 fairly average tutorial tracks, one that has a really goofy aesthetic, and then just an absolutely brilliant track. Side note, I always liked this ending cutscene where you glide in if you're in first place. It made me feel like a real badass when I was a kid. Okay, that is a good first start to the game, though. Ooh, I've unlocked a vehicle customization option that I am probably not going to use. Now, kart customization is an interesting conversation, because when they first introduced it, I thought it was really cool, and I had a lot of fun with it. But we've had it in Mario Kart for 14 years now, which, goddamn. And honestly, I think I'm starting to grow bored of it. Even though kart customization theoretically gives you a lot more choice with what you want to drive, I feel like, kind of paradoxically, it means you just see the same combos over and over and over again. Even though we're just picking a set kart, there's, like, less choice. I feel like you saw, maybe not in like something like Mario Kart Wii, but at least just when I've been playing it over the years, I feel like I saw more of the karts then than I do with customization. Anyway, onto the Flower Cup, and we are starting off strong with Wuhu Island Loop. Which is a surprisingly important track for this series. First of all, it's our first proper crossover track. This is technically the first time they did it, not in the Mario Kart 8 DLC. It is a crossover with Wii Sports Resort and technically whatever the 3DS Pilot Wings was called. I do have that game. I can't remember what its subtitle was. It might literally just be Pilot Wings 3DS. I should check that. Okay, not off to a great start here. But yeah, I played a lot of Wii Sports Resort as a kid. I loved the Pilot Wings game on 3DS. It was the only game I had when I first got my 3DS, and I spent a lot of time on it just flying around the island and exploring. And so getting to drive on it in Mario Kart was really cool. Anyway, as you can see here, this is our first ever section track. Now tracks don't just have to be 3 loops around the same area. You can have these massive tracks that honestly feel more like an adventure than a race, and I really love them. This isn't the best one, but it's a pretty great first one, and it still holds up really well, I feel. A lot of really nice shortcuts on this one. It is risky, but since I don't really have anything to lose here, I think I'm going to try for the shortcut. Okay, I definitely really need it now. Oh my god! Oh, I pulled it off! Oh, that was so cool. I think that's the first time I've ever actually done that. Okay, going around the lighthouse now. But yeah, there's just something about these tracks that feels a lot more grand than regular tracks. I think it helps that it's like not as repetitive because you just aren't doing the same thing 3 times. And I think I prefer this sort of track than the ones we'll see in the Booster Course Pass where they sort of change every lap. Because they're like a weird middle ground. There is still moments of repetition in those. There are just different bits mixed in. Whereas this is just all completely different. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I adore Wuhu Island Loop. Fantastic track. Very, very important for the series. Introduced both crossovers and section tracks. It's just fun to drive. Feels like an adventure. Solid start to the Flower Cup. Next up, we have Mario Circuit, because we have to have one at some point. Okay. 3, 2, 1. I messed that up. So, Mario Circuits, I feel like, are the kind of iconic, not iconic, generic track of each game. Like, they're not the first track you're going to think of for most of the games. There is an exception to that. But they're a track that I think kind of defines each game pretty well. And honestly, I really like this one. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite overall, but it's definitely up there. Actually, you know what? I think it is probably a contender. I think the DS one is more interesting to drive. It has a better layout. But I like a lot of the really unique set pieces on this one. I like the cherry blossom trees. I like going inside Peach's castle. That's really cool. What the hell? I'm calling shenanigans there. I had a banana. How did it come behind me? Oh well, it worked for him as well. Yeah, I'm not sure which out of DS Mario Circuit or 7 Mario Circuit I like more. I think I'm probably going to put them on equal footing. I like them both for different reasons. I can't remember where I placed DS Mario Circuit, so I'm going to have to check that so I can be consistent with myself. Okay, red shall come in, that's fine. I've got a thing for that. Always love drifting around big spirals like that. It's a lot of fun. Oh, no, 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 no. No, Toad. No, you don't get to overtake me like that. You don't get to do me like that, no. Oh, that bloody pipe. Okay, right, let's quickly check. DS Mario Circuit. I want to say that I put it in love. Yeah, I did. Do I love this track? Am I right about it being somewhat equal? Yeah, I think I do. Has some really cool set pieces. It is fun to drive, even if not quite as fun as the DS one. I'll put it down. Yeah, that works for me, I think. It's a track that I love. Okay, on to one of Mario Kart 7's most famous tracks, Melody Motorway. Not Music Park. Music Park is a really boring name. Melody Motorway is just so much better, and I will not hear otherwise. It's weird that so many track names got changed in localization between Europe and the US here. Like, it happened once on the Wii, but it's like half the tracks in it. It's really weird. I've got to avoid the piranha plants. So, this track has a really cool gimmick. Everything moves in time to the music. Certain things you do during the race, like driving on these, affects the music. They had a really inspired idea with this one, and they pulled it off well. Okay, I do like this bit where you've got to trick in time with their bounces. Right, I'm going for this shortcut here. There we go, pulled it off nicely. Okay, he's not too far ahead. And he won't be ahead for much longer. Oh my god, nearly hit him. These guys definitely feel a lot harder to avoid than they do in the 8 remake of this track. That might just be because I'm slightly better at Mario Kart 8 than I am at 7, even though they are fairly similar. They're probably the most similar of any 2 Mario Karts, I would say. And I don't think anyone would argue with me about that. Oh god, blue shell. Didn't break in time. Hopefully, yeah, that works. Nice. I was a little worried that I was too slow with my braking and that it was still going to go for me. Thankfully, it paid off. Okay, right, I can... Okay, no, I don't quite have the angle to do it there. That's fine. So, here's where I think I'm going to annoy a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people would be waiting for me to start gushing about this track and say that I adore it. Because it is a really cool concept, and it's executed really well. It is a track that I should adore it. And I do really like it. I love it. But I don't know. I can never quite commit to saying that I adore it. I think there's another track that does the music gimmick better. And it's just a lot better to drive on as well. And I would say I adore that one, but because that one exists, and it makes this one feel lesser in comparison, I don't know if I can give them both adore. I think this one's got to be a love, which, I mean, I'm wording this really negatively, even though it's still in, like, the second best position it could be in. It's still in a really good category. But yeah, I love Melody Motorway. There's just another track that's slightly better at what this one does. Anyway, on to the final track of the Flower Cup, Alpine Pass. Not Rock Mountain, because Rock Mountain is a stupid name. Okay, right, just... All mountains are made of rock. They're all rock mountains. What kind of boring-ass name is Rock Mountain? What the hell did you expect the mountain to be made of? Surely you'd point out the material that it's made of if it was different from any other mountain. Like, if it was like a Choco Mountain, okay, that makes sense as a name. It's a mountain made of chocolate. If it was, I don't know, a Strawberry Mountain made of strawberry ice cream, yeah, that makes sense. Call it Strawberry Mountain. I just made that one up. They should make that a track. But it's a normal mountain. All mountains are made of rock. Anyway, I love this track. I really love this massive glider section here. It is a spectacle for the eyes, and I love just like speeding up the side of the mountain like this to get back to the top. Get out of here, you. Always a really fun time, this one. I love how exhilarating the music is here. What the fuck? I thought you usually clip through that. But I just love how like exhilarating and full of energy the music is here as well. It just makes it really fun to drive around. Okay, going for the glide again. I do love that you have the option to go down and drive if you want as well. It doesn't force you to commit to this massive glide. I mean, I glide every time because why wouldn't I? It's fun. Also, there's a lot of shortcut potential here. If you have mushrooms, you can just cut across all of this grass, do some crazy stuff. It's a lot of fun. Okay, slightly messed that up there. Oh, come on, Toad. Right, I'm going to need some really, really good driving to pull this back, I think. Awesome, good items. I will take either. Yeah, that'll do. Probably should have saved that for one of the actual shortcuts here, but it's fine. See, it paid off. Hey, hold on, you recovered a little bit too quickly there, sir. Excuse me. Oh, got him! I also got me, but I got him, and that's all that matters. No! Oh, someone else was in first when that was launched. No, that is some bullshit. Someone else was in first. Anyway, I adore Alpine Pass. Great music. It's a great spectacle. I love doing the glide every time. It's a really fun drive. This is the track that I think of when I think of Mario Kart 7. I don't know if it's my favorite track in the game, but it's certainly up there. And I'd say it's certainly the most iconic track from the game. Actually, is it? Maybe there's some other tracks that would also be pretty iconic, like Melody Motorway is definitely very iconic. For me, though, this is like the one I think of when I think Mario Kart 7. Okay, that went pretty well. Still got first, not quite as well as the Mushroom Cup did. Koopa is going to be the bane of my life, isn't he? He keeps turning up. He keeps turning up in my first place where I want to be. How dare he? That's very rude. Okay, 2 stars, not bad. Let's move on to the Star Cup then. Now, the Star Cup has some really big shoes to fill. Because Mario Kart Wii's Star Cup, my god, was amazing. 3 tracks that I adored, 1 that I loved. It's going to be hard to beat that. It's going to be really, really hard to beat that. Anyway, Piranha Plant Pipeway is coming up first. Not Piranha Plant Slide, but considering there is also a track in Tour called Piranha Plant Pipeline, honestly, maybe we probably should have gone for Piranha Plant Slide here. There's a lot more to this track than just the Pipeway. Oh well. It is what it is. I like the 3-letter alliteration. Now, what I really like about this track is the aesthetic. It's so colourful, and it captures the vibes of the first Mario game really well. Like, it is literally just World 1-2 in Mario Kart. We got the blue Goombas. I always love when they do that. Like, actually colouring the Goombas how they would have been in the original game. They don't really do that very often. In fact, I don't even think the remake does. Generally, the remake, I think, is better. But that is definitely a downside. Now, this water section here is definitely where the remake massively improves, I feel. It just feels way too constrained here. Same with this ending glide as well. But I'll save talking about that anymore for Mario Kart 8. Get out of here, Bowser. God, how far ahead is Koopa? Right, Metal Mario, no. I want an item box. The Piranha plants definitely feel more threatening in this version compared to the 8 version, though. Like, I feel like the track's not quite as wide here, so you've actually got to be a little bit more careful. Oh, that was risky. Thought I was going to go off the side there. Right, I'm going to try for the higher route here. I didn't quite make it. I'm too heavy. Right, I've got a mushroom. I'm going to go for the shortcut because this is a simple shortcut. But it's a really fun one. Just cut through the fake bush. Nice. God, the music here is a bop. Okay. Get my triple bananas. Nice. I do wish the pipe made the classic doot-doot-doot noise. Okay, we both got there. I just need to hold on to this very slight lead that I've got. Okay, the shell is going to have to do. God, I used to really struggle with that corner as a kid, but honestly, it's kind of fine now. Piranha Plant Pipeway, very strong start. I adore it. There are definitely things that I feel are worse here now that I played the remake a lot more, because obviously I played the remake for like 10 years now. But this also has things that the remake doesn't have, like the blue Goomba. So I don't think it's held back as much as other courses that have better remakes. So I think it still, excuse me, gets its way into a door quite easily. Fantastic track. Hold on. Oh, my dinner was quite gassy, apparently. Not that you lot needed to know that. Anyway, Wario's Galleon is up next. We've got another ramp coming. It is not a shipyard. It is not a Wario shipyard. It is a wrecked galleon. There is one ship here that is wrecked into many pieces. Where is the yard? There is no yard here. There are no ships just nicely parked. I know technically the American translations are more literal translations, but our names are just better for the most part. There's like one that I think the Americans did better. Now, as a kid, I hated this track because I was really bad at it. Right, I'm going to slow down a bit there. That I hated because I always took that way too fast and I just fell off the ledge. And then I used to really struggle with this corner as well. I don't know what it was. It just felt like it was really sharp and I just couldn't get my head around it. These days, though, it's not too bad. I'm much better at the game than I was then. Honestly, Mario Kart 7 is the game where I feel like I actually started to get good at Mario Kart. I mean, I say get good, you know, I'm not going to sit here and claim to be an amazing player. But I feel like I'm a competent player, occasionally. And this is the game I really have to thank for that. Yeah, this course has such a really cool aesthetic. I love like the ocean and stuff like that, even if it's terrifying. And shipwrecks and stuff are really, really cool. And it just captures the vibe so well. I love the lightning storm. Also, it's nice to have a Wario track that isn't a stadium. I know we will get another one later on. But most of them up until now have been like coliseums or stadiums or whatever, which are all cool tracks, but variety is the spice of life, as they say. Metal Mario, you are not allowed to be in first. That is my position. I am the Honey Queen. The Queen goes in first. Oh, I love the fishbone mouth here. I can't wait to play as Fishbone in Mario Kart World. I am legitimately, like, unironically, incredibly hyped for that. I'm going to take this other corner here, actually. Just for a change. Okay, that definitely felt a lot tighter. Maybe that's what I was trying to do as a kid, and that's why I was struggling. Still pulled it off, though. Oh, my God. Right, don't drop the shell, Ben. Don't drop the shell. There's a red shell coming. Okay, Wario's Galleon. Easy adore. Definitely glad this one is coming back in Worlds. A really unique standout track from this game. Gotta love it. Well, gotta adore it, I guess, in this case. Anyway, time to not be so positive. Koopa City. Or Neo Bowser City for you over in the States. I don't really have an opinion on either of those names. I think they're both fine. They both convey what they're trying to get across. Neo probably fits it more just because it does have this futuristic aesthetic thing going on. There is cool music in this track, but I just really don't like driving it. The whole track is way too slippery, and all of the corners just feel really, really tight and horrible to take. I've never really enjoyed this one. Which is a shame, because I actually really like the music and the aesthetic. Okay, this corner always messes me up. I think this is the single corner in all of Mario Kart that I have fallen off the most. Yeah, that corner there, just every time I collide with that wall. Can't seem to avoid it. Maybe that's a skill issue, but I just don't like it. It is cool to have a Bowser track, though, that isn't a Bowser castle. It definitely makes it feel a lot more unique. Okay, I've got to remember to drift for this corner early so I don't come off. Okay, so actually, playing the 7 version for the first time in a long time, I'm not hating this as much as I feel like I used to. And honestly, I haven't played the 8 version that much in recent years, so maybe my problem was just a skill issue, and now that I'm better at the game, I'm not having as many issues with it. It's still not going to be a go-to for me, but maybe I can put it in like, at least, rather than being so negative. But this is why I wanted to do this revisit. A lot of my opinions on tracks were decided years ago, and I thought it'd be quite interesting to see how they've changed over the years. For the most part, they've really not, though. Yeah, I'm gonna give this one a like. It has a lot of really nice elements about it. It's definitely still a little bit annoying to drive, but not as much as young me would have you believe. Anyway, on to the final track of the cup. We have Wuhu Mountain Loop, or Maka Wuhu, for those of you in the States. And this is the one track where I feel like the American name is better. Maka Wuhu is the name of the mountain that we actually drive on. And Mountain Loop and Island Loop just feel a little bit too similar, so it helps it to stand out from the other one. But just like the other one, this track is amazing, and honestly, I think it might be better. It's a later game track, so it's more interesting to drive, and it just goes to some really pretty places. I always love a sunset aesthetic in games. Just always looks really pretty. Gonna go for the shortcut there, nice. My god, I'm getting hammered. But yeah, I said that Wuhu Island Loop felt like an adventure, and this does even more so. Well, I love going through all the caves like this and going past the castle. It's just really cool. Right, I'm gonna hang on to this mushroom, because there's a couple of shortcuts that I want to take coming up that I could use them for. And hopefully that will be a better use of them than using them now. Right, the first one is coming up. I'm going to cut through the lake. And then, I'm going to cut through the castle. I love doing that. That's so fun. Like, it feels like I shouldn't be allowed to do that. Right, I'm going to let Rosalina stay in first. Just so she can get blown to hell. Right, boulders to avoid. That's always fun. Oh, look at that sunset. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, here we go. My favourite gliding section in all of Mario Kart. Ugh. Right, I'm going for the floating platform. There's just so much to do here. So many ways to go and glide. It's just so much fun. Okay, there we go. I think you guys already know. It's an easy adore. I adore this track. It's one of the best tracks in the game. Anyway, show me my results. Show me how I did. And well, I know how I did. I came first, because of course I did. I'm really good at this game. And now that I've said that, I'm going to do awful on the Special Cup. I just know it. Because that is the recording curse, well, it's part of it. As soon as you say you're good at something, you're not going to be good at it anymore. Oh, 3 stars, okay. Nice. Don't think I get anything for that, but nice. Okay, gonna stick with the same combination, and move on to the Special Cup. Starting with DK Jungle. So right off the bat, what I really like about this track is the aesthetic. I feel like Mario Kart tracks don't actually pull directly from the games that often. It's pretty rare. They tend to be just their own very abstract Mario concepts. Whereas this track is literally just pulled straight out of Donkey Kong Country Returns. And it's definitely the most Donkey Kong of all of the Donkey Kong tracks. That said, while they are very great games, especially Tropical Freeze, I'm not the biggest fan of the Donkey Kong Country franchise. I'm not a massive platformer guy anyway, and I'm just not a big fan of how heavy to control Donkey Kong is in those games. But I recognise that they are very great, well-made platformers. Aesthetically, they're all on point. They all look really nice. And this track captures the vibe really, really well. Plus, it's fun to drive. I love that split at the end there where you've got the sharper, more dangerous turn you can take. I always go for the more dangerous one because I'm a risk taker. And it's just more fun. But like I've said, I like when tracks have moments where you've kind of got to choose. Do you go the safe path or the more rewarding path? Right, let's not mess this up that time. That shortcut is definitely a lot easier to take on the Wii U. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I'll leave that up to you. The music here is really nice as well. I love the jazzy remake of the main Donkey Kong theme. Now, I know Retro Studios were involved in this game, and I know they made the retro tracks. I am curious whether they made this track as well. Because it would make sense if they did. Oh god, that was close. Yeah, I feel like that doesn't really happen with the glider in Mario Kart 8. The glider feels really, really nerfed in that game. I feel like you can get a lot more out of it here. You can go a lot further with it. Right, DK Jungle. I would say I love it. It integrates the aesthetic from the game really well. It does just feel like it's come straight out of Donkey Kong Country Returns. It's fun to drive around, has some bits I really enjoy. But I feel like it would resonate with me more if it was from a franchise that I personally cared about more. So I'm not going to say that I adore it, but I completely get anyone that says that they do. Like, if you're a Donkey Kong fan, this is the perfect track for you. So, love it is. Still a pretty positive outcome for this track, though. Moving on to Rosalina's Ice World. This is a track that I really don't see much praise for, but I've always really, really liked this one. It's a very pretty track, and just due to how some of the turns are, it feels really, really dangerous to drive on in a good way. Like, I love this spiral here right next to the pit, and I fucked it up, of course I have. Just because I love it doesn't mean I'm good at it. I love going through this ice half-pipe, it's a lot of fun. I also really like the music here, it's just got a very nice vibe to it. Right, let's try and stay on the ice. Never mind, I've come off. Okay, apparently I'm not going for the shortcut. Thank you, Mushroom. Are you kidding me? Okay, I've got some work to do here. I would comment on the planets in the sky, ripped straight out of Mario Galaxy, which is really cool, but I'm trying to concentrate, and I've ended up commenting on it anyway, so... You know. I don't know what my point was. Right, down into the water for the second lap. There's no choice unless you have a mushroom. I'm a little bit annoyed that tricking does make you miss the item box there. I think that's a little dumb. Right, anyway, let's go for the shortcut here. This is risky, but fun. Like, it's very easy to just slide off the edge when you get a boost there. But if you manage to do it properly, you get a pretty good lead. Right, let's not mess it up this time. Oh, I love how you kind of just, like, careen over the top of the half-pipe there. It would be nice if it was a proper half-pipe from Mario Kart Wii, but, you know, there is a remake. Hint, hint. Right, let's go for the shortcut again, why not? Let's flex. See, I do like it when there are shortcuts that aren't necessarily just mushroom-only shortcuts. They're just shortcuts that require skill. Okay, Rosalina's Ice World. Yeah, I adore that one. It's one of my favourite tracks in the game. I've always really liked it. I know not everyone has, but I'm going to die on this hill. I think this is a fantastic track. Okay, looking at this, I think we are giving Mario Kart DS a run for its money with how many tracks I adore. That had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we've just... Oh, no, sorry, it had 7. And we have just hit number 7. It needs one more. And it's overtaken Mario Kart DS. And we have 2 more Nitro tracks to go. Plus, we have Retros. Now, Retros haven't tended to score as high as the Nitros so far. That could change. Anyway, on to Bowser's Castle. It has to be here at some point. Oh my god. Sorry, something just opened up on my... 1 second. Something just opened up on my computer above... Oh, I must have just caught something with my mouse. God damn it. Let me just move that out of the way. Okay, we're good. We are... Oh, no, hold on. There is something that I forgot to open that I needed open, and I was trying to stealthily open it during the loading screen, and it just opened right over my view of the game. Okay, I think we're good now. Okay, that's potentially cost me the race. I might be able to pull this back, though. So this, right away, this Bowser's Castle has a pretty unique aesthetic. It feels a lot more run down than the others. There is a really cool shortcut here that is more skill-based, going on top of this rolling barrel that's here for some reason. And I do like that there's quite an extensive outside section as well. It feels like we're driving in a castle that's actively in the process of falling apart. It would be nice if that was an actual mechanic for this course, like Grumble Volcano, but that is Grumble Volcano's gimmick, not this track's gimmick. And repeating the gimmick right away in the next game would be a little bit lame. Okay, we're going for the lower route, it looks like. Oh dear, that was very poorly timed. Okay, I guess I'm going the normal route this time. Can't really take the shortcut like this. Okay, nice. 4th is not awful. I might be able to salvage this. Right, I'm going to go for the ramps here, try and get onto the high road. Okay, get out of here, Donkey Kong. Koopa Trooper, you are next. Not get smashed this time. Okay, I have recovered. I am back in first where I belong. Okay, that is a cool section to drive through. Okay, can't take the ramp that time. I do like moments like that where you've kind of got to adapt on the fly. You can't just do the same thing every time. You've actually got to put a little bit of thought into it. So this version of Bowser's Castle, I think I love it. It is a really good version, but I don't quite like it as much as, say, the Wii version. It does feel like a step below it. How does it compare to the DS version, which I think I also said I loved? I have a lot more nostalgia for the DS version, and it has the rolling log of death that I love. So maybe it's slightly lesser than that, but it's still a really, really cool track. I feel like this one should have been a section track, though. I feel like in the game that introduced them, it's Bowser's Castle should have been like a massive gauntlet through a massive castle, and we just didn't quite get that. Still a decent track, though. That said, though, a track that is a section track is Rainbow Road time. And now this one has always been really, really special. So, for a while, 3DS Rainbow Road was my favourite Rainbow Road. Obviously, the Wii 1 has re-overtaken it in recent years. I think the Wii 1 is more interesting to play, just because it has a lot more going on in terms of tricks and turns and stuff. But just in terms of the aesthetic and the setting, this one is amazing. Being a section track really benefits it. I love flying around all the planets like this. Oh my god, I'm coming off the side again. No, I'm not. I love going down onto the moon. Slight spoilers there, but it's just... It feels like a step up from what a Rainbow Road usually is. Okay, I'm going to be very careful with this mushroom. Alright, let's land on Saturn's ring. This set piece is really cool. There was an item box below the rings there. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's actually possible to get that. Okay, we're coming down onto the moon here. Let's try not to fall off on the through the holes here. Never mind. What I really like is that the music actually changes during the moon section. That is such a nice detail. Anyway, into the spinning log of death, the more interesting one. Definitely a lot more interesting than Bazaar Castle's one. Let's get the glider, glide through all the rings. Don't know if this is even faster, but it feels faster. And of course it's a Rainbow Road, so we have one final massive turn. What a way to end the Nitro tracks. I don't think I really need to say it, but I adore 3DS Rainbow Road. The second best Rainbow Road in the series, and it's very, very close. There's not much in it. Right, give me my trophy. Give it to me. For the final time for the Nitro Cups, I have achieved gold. I think that might be the first video where I've got all 4 gold cups. Because some of these I've done really badly on, but today hasn't been too bad. And 2 stars as well, lovely. I can now race as my Mii. Oh, okay. Good to know. Right, I'm going to skip the credits for now. I'm going to save that until I'm done with the retro tracks, because that's where I do my full wrap-up of the game. But so far, Mario Kart 7 is looking pretty strong. While Mario Kart 8 does steal a lot of what it does mechanics-wise, track-wise, this game is a lot better than I remembered. Like, Mario Kart DS was always a handheld one that I went, oh my god, that game has amazing tracks. But this has one more track that I adore compared to that. It's not quite Mario Kart Wii level. That game is immaculate. It has so many incredible tracks. But it's really not too far behind. There hasn't really been a track here that I've been fairly negative on. Like, none went into meh, none went into dislike, none went into hate. And that's pretty impressive, I would say. There was only one that I said was average. I was very positive on basically every single track here, even if not all of them were complete bangers, like in Mario Kart Wii. All in all, Mario Kart 7, keep up the good work. You've done a great job so far. Let's hope the retros can live up to the nitros. Because so far the retros have always felt like the lesser set of tracks in the games. Mario Kart DS had a very, very weird selection. Wii was a slight improvement, but didn't quite get there, even if I do like a lot of them. Let's see if Mario Kart 7 can really do the retros justice. But we'll find out next time. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Have a good one, and I'll see you later. Bye!